YouTube. Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And I just want to say thank you to all the viewers, or all those who viewed, and to all those who will view in the future. Just want to say I appreciate the views, and if you like what you hear, or would you if you would consider subscribing as well as liking and sharing to spread the knowledge to others. But back to business. Today's video is police officers held to a higher standard. And this is a common excuse that you often hear from black people for why it's to justify crying and getting upset about what police officers supposedly do to us, while at the same time ignoring what we do to ourselves far worse. I mean, exactly what they complain about, we do to ourselves far worse. That being, police officers held to a higher standard. But personally, I would have to agree. And I would have to agree. Police officers should be held to higher standards. So you get no argument for me on that point. And police officers are held to a higher standard, and I would like to know exactly how they aren't. And I would love to see politicians, who are also paid public servants, held to that same standard. Because for so many of these congressmen, they get voted and washed in office year after year after year, decade after decade, and do absolutely nothing for their constituents. Like Maxine Waters. She lives in a $4 million mansion, which is far different from the people who live in the district that she's supposed to represent. But yet these people keep voting her in office every time. So hey, but I agree that police officers should be held to a higher standard. So the question is not if they should be held to a higher standard. The question is how much higher. How much higher should police officers be held above citizens with rights, and with those rights comes responsibilities. We often hear people crying about rights, but for some reason the responsibilities part always seems to get drowned out, always seems to be for some reason forgotten. So how much higher should police officers be held over citizens with responsibilities? Not that much higher, to be honest. And certainly not that much higher that we use that we say the 4% of blacks killed by police officers every year on average, and that's the high end, outweighs the 90+% of blacks who are killed by other blacks every year. There's no way, shape, or form are police officers held that much higher than the public. They're not gods. And there's no argument that anyone can make to justify that level of stupidity. But they will, the race hustlers will, because the defense of the race narrative doesn't really require common sense, logic, and reason. It doesn't require facts. All it requires is a brainwashed individual who's emotionally charged. That's it. It doesn't require anything else. So that's why you hear people trying to make that ridiculous argument, even though it's just laughable. But nobody can make that argument, and I would love to see people try. The only way that argument can work is if people let it fly. And anyone who doesn't play the nonsense, who won't let it fly, it won't. But anyway, if you ever hear the argument, police officers are held to a higher standard, which I agree they should be, and they are, well, now you know it, and it's half the battle. And again, there's absolutely no way that police officers are held that higher in that much regard to justify that level of discrepancy between the blacks murdered by police officers and the black murdered by other blacks. That's ridiculous. And keep in mind that the human beings, we are fallible. And any area where human beings are involved, that fallibility is going to exist, including cops. They're not, like I said, they're not gods, they're human beings. But they're not held in that high of a standing to justify that level of, ridiculousness. But anyway, as always, y'all, until next time.